Hello, everyone. We're going to go ahead and get started. We want to be respectful of your time and try to give you some information and allow you to go about the rest of your day. My name is Autumn O'Brien, and I am the Director of Academics. And tonight we're going to give you some information regarding the new third grade remediation program. And we have note cards for you to put any questions that you have. We're going to create a frequently asked questions sheet. Some answers we may have now and some answers we may have to get for you, and we'll send that out to your the email that you have listed through the school. So that'll go out to all third grade parents in the next couple of weeks as we get those answers together. Also, afterwards, we will be here if you have an individual question about your specific student that you want to ask. So we're going to do a brief presentation, and then we'll let you go to be respectful of your time. But if you have a question, we'll be sticking around for a little while, so we can help you answer any of those questions or write them down and get the information back to you. Okay? Okay, I'm going to try not to spend a lot of time reading the slides, but this one I'm going to read word for word just so you can kind of understand the background to the information that you've been receiving about third grade. So in January of 2021, the Tennessee General Assembly passed the Tennessee Learning Loss Remediation and Student Acceleration Act to help ensure Tennessee students recover from the challenges of the COVID-19 pandemic and close gaps in student learning. As part of this legislation, the General Assembly decided to update the state's third grade retention law, and the law code is listed there, to ensure students receive additional support before promotion to fourth grade. So this slide is provided from the state of Tennessee, and again, I'm not going to read every specific item, but I want to highlight a couple of things that we all know as educators, and probably as parents, a lot of us know this as well, but this is some information kind of collected about the importance of third grade literacy. It's a key indicator for future academic success, as well as lifelong socioeconomic and health outcomes. Some of those that are listed here, that children that are reading at grade level are more likely to graduate from high school, enter and complete post-secondary programs, and remain gainfully employed later in life. So we do understand the importance of that literacy factor. One, on the opposite side of that, children not reading at grade level are 4 times more likely to drop out of school. And obviously the negative impacts of that have short and long-term earning potential. It's also associated with higher rates of poverty, not keeping up with medical treatments, preteen alcohol use, depression, and teenage pregnancy. And so the key takeaway is that low literacy rates negatively impact our students and our state. Okay, so like I said, that's a slide that the state of Tennessee provided for us that I think gives us some good information about the importance of literacy, and specifically in third grade. So this is the part that gets a little technical, so I'm gonna read through the slides and tell you a little bit about what it means. But before I do, I just wanted to draw attention to a parent portal that has been emailed to you as a parent, where you can log in to the state of Tennessee and know your students' level of proficiency from second grade. So we start testing for TCAP in second grade. So if your student was a Tennessee student last year in the second grade, you would be able to see how they performed last year, and that might give you an indication for how they might perform in the third grade TCAP at the end of May. So the key components here are there are two levels that are below expectation. One is approaching, which is just below expectation. And those students, and that would be listed on your students portal, you'd be able to look that up and find out. Those students who score approaching on their third grade ELA TCAP would be required to attend summer school or high dosage tutoring. And I'll give you a definition of what high dosage tutoring is in just a minute. So summer school or high dosage tutoring. For those students that score at the lowest level, which is below expectations, on their third grade TCAP, they would be required to attend summer school and high dosage tutoring. So if you currently have a third grader, that third grader will sit for the TCAP in May. And once they take that test, they will receive their level of proficiency. And if they fall at one of those two levels, then that is when the school system is required to provide those interventions for your student so that they receive high dosage tutoring in summer school. There are some exceptions. Those exceptions are listed here. These are all, again, by the state of Tennessee that are included in the legislation. One is a special education student that can be decided per the IEP team. If a student has previously been retained, so if they were retained in kindergarten, first or second grade, they can't be retained twice in elementary school. English language learning students who have received less than 2 years of ELA instruction. So typically that would mean that they've been in a language learning program for less than 2 years. We have very few of those. Most of ours have been here for a little bit longer than that, but less than 2 years of ELA instruction. There is an appeals process for the Tennessee Department of Education, but we don't have a lot of information on that yet, but that is also listed as an exception. And then students that are retested before the new school year. So there is going to be an option for a retest, and the TCAP is typically given at the beginning of May, so your third grade student would take that test at the beginning of May. We are told that scores will be here the third week of May, and then we will be offering a retest somewhere in the fourth week of May or the 1st of June. So that retest will be made available for students to take a retest and take that test again. So that is also an exception that is available. So here are some definitions for those exceptions. So if my student scores below proficient in May, and my student retests and scores below proficient on the retest, and they are required to do high dosage tutoring or summer school, and they could possibly be required to do both. These are the definitions of those that the state gives us for those components, and that is high dosage tutoring has to be school-based. So someone has asked, can I get a tutor outside of school? You can, but in this case, it would not fulfill the requirements for that high dosage tutoring. It does have to be school-based. It's at least twice a week, at least 30-minute session. It's a 3-to-1 ratio, and a certified teacher or a trained tutor. It has to be led by a certified teacher or trained tutor. Currently, we have after-school tutoring at all of our schools, and some schools have what we would define, actually all of our schools have what we would define as high-dosage tutoring during the school day. We are going to explore options for more high-dosage tutoring to be available during the school day, so that's one area that we're going to really work on and address over the next couple of months. But we do have after-school tutoring already in place, and that's something that if your student isn't attending and you would like more information on that, put that on that note card and we can certainly get you that information. But we do have that available currently, but for next year, again, if your student was not proficient, that would be an intervention that would be available. Also, summer school. We have summer school, and it is always in June. This summer, the summer school does have to be district-based again. This summer, the summer school dates are June 5th through the 29th, and it is Mondays through Thursdays. So that summer school is available. It is free, and it is available to our students, and third grade will obviously be a priority for us for attendance and participation. So those are the key components to the third grade remediation. So these are the steps that we've taken as a district, and obviously we'll be developing this over the next several months. So we started off with overviews with school administrators, teachers, district administrators, and our school board. We have sent out parent letters, and then obviously tonight we're hosting this parent meeting. Last month we met with each school leadership team and identified at-risk third graders based on second grade TCAP scores. And so those meetings then propelled some intervention meetings with parents. So they're called general education intervention plans, and those meetings, actually a lot of those happen today with parents. We expect that the first round of GEI plans all will be completed by this Friday. So many students and parents have already participated. We have received a lot of really good feedback from parents. Obviously, this is something that can cause some stress and some anxiety within a family, and so being able to sit down and come up with a plan and interventions that are available for our students, parents have really appreciated the opportunity to sit down with teachers and administrators to be able to do that. And then in the spring, those same plans will be reviewed in the spring of '23. And then obviously over the next several months, we will be working on our plan as we get more information to be able to deliver out to parents in the spring. And we do have our first benchmark in December, right before Christmas. So your third graders will benchmark in December. And so that's something you could certainly reach out to your third grade teacher right before break or right after break and just kind of see where your student is landing, because that might give you a good idea as far as what kind of information you have currently. Okay, so as I said, we're going to respect everyone's time. We wanted this to kind of be a brief synopsis. I'm going to be here in the front if you have any questions, or you can write your question down on a note card and pass it to Mr. Moss. And if you'll put your name, your email address, and what school you're affiliated with, we will get the answer to your question back to you. And we also are going to collect them for a fact sheet that we can send out to third grade parents at a later time. And my email address is listed up here. You can certainly, you can certainly email me directly, and I will be happy to answer any questions or find the answer. All right. Thank you so much, guys, and have a great Tuesday.